checking those boxes. And so this will be a great test for them. I mean, this is a prolific D-line with Khalil Mack and really all throughout. They got depth at edge and D tackles, and they were one of the best defenses in the league this last year. So it'll be another test for these guys, and I'm excited for them to go out there and accept the challenge and showcase who they are.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. New month, new week, new season, new day.
Are you ready for some football?
I am. I am ready for that. It's game week, big game week, and you just, you won't get many game weeks bigger than this one. And so it's very, very exciting. Very exciting. We'll touch on the Royals here and there, but if you're searching for a bunch of baseball talk, I'm not going to be able to help you this week. We have adjusted our schedule. There'll be no baseball at all on Friday on the show. There'll be a football Friday. We'll still have some baseball talk between now and Friday. But I don't want to. I'm just being honest. The Royals have lost 2 out of 3 to the Detroit Tigers again. And if they end up not making the playoffs, you can look back to these 2 series where they had big opportunities to go on the road to play Detroit, and they come back home and play Detroit, and they lost both series. Which, you know what? Detroit is showing us who they are, and Detroit is showing us who the Royals are. And that's okay. That's what it is. The Royals are a flawed team. And now the Royals, when you wake up and look at the standings today, they're only 2.5 games out of a wild card spot, but they've allowed the Texas Rangers to slip past them. They've won 6 in a row. And so now not only are the Royals chasing the Mariners, they're chasing the Rangers. They're 2.5 back. And that was not a good weekend out at Kauffman Stadium. And so that's where the Royals are. But something you can wrap your arms around that is very exciting. Jack Caglione is back with the big league team. And also, for some, even more exciting, another top prospect, Kansas City native, has got the call. And so after he has absolutely hit the cover off the ball at AAA, Carter Jensen is up with the big team. And so this will be a very deep lineup. It'll be very interesting to see how Matt Quatrero utilizes Jack Caglione and or Carter Jensen. And so hopefully the Royals, now that the Detroit Tigers are out of town, can get some wins and try to chase down the Rangers and the Mariners. But super disappointing that they were losers again in this series to one of the best teams of baseball, the Detroit Tigers. And so if you had any hopes, as I did, that the Royals could have a hot weekend and really thrust themselves into contention, that didn't happen. The Tigers are just flat out better than the Royals. The record says it. These last couple of series say it. Are the Royals out of it? No. They're only 2.5 games out, but it's disappointing that a team slipped past them. And so not only the Mariners are in front of them, but they got to surpass the Texas Rangers, who were red-hot winners of 6 in a row. So there's your baseball. Football. The Chiefs start on Friday. The Chiefs against the Chargers in Brazil. It seems like we've been waiting forever since the Chiefs walked off the field in the last Super Bowl against the Philadelphia Eagles in such a disappointing and deflating loss. It's almost hard to go back and remember how it felt to have this team on the brink of winning 3 in a row. They were on the brink of completing the three-peat, but they ran into a brick wall by the name of the Philadelphia Eagles. And I mean, it was just a disaster. But still, it was in the Super Bowl. They're defending AFC champions. And so when you take a step back, again, I'll say this till I'm Chiefs red in the face. For most of my life, I begged football baby Jesus to deliver the Chiefs to the Super Bowl. And I didn't even care if they'd win or not. I just wanted to see the Chiefs go to a Super Bowl. I wanted to see the Chiefs win an AFC championship game and go to the big game. And now they've been to a bunch of them. They almost won 3 in a row. And if you ask me, homer that I am, I think they're the favorites to go back and win it again. Because I think Patrick Mahomes is going to light it up this year. And I think this offense is going to be much better. And I think that the Chiefs are on a revenge tour, what I've called an FU tour. And I do think this is Travis Kelce's last year. And I think that means something. And I think he wants to go out on top. And he wants to show, he wants to put the icing on the cake of the greatest career a tight end has ever had in the NFL. When you factor in production and winning and championships and being handsome and being engaged to the most popular woman in the world and you know, being in commercials and being shirtless in a body of water on GQ magazine, all these things. He's done it all. He's done every bit of it. And so the icing on the cake would be a championship. And the road starts Friday in Brazil. I wish it started at Arrowhead Stadium. I wish it started in the United States of America. I wish it started in an actual football stadium that's not the size of a baseball stadium. I wish it started. It's going to be weird. I'm not a fan. I'm not a big fan of the international games, so that's just me. I know some people go goo goo gaga over it. I don't. And I just, you know, what are you laughing for? Can't I say my piece?
You think people go goo goo gaga over it?
I'm sure people are excited about this. I'm not. I don't care that they're, you know, goo goo gaga, Brazil.
I want to meet the guy who's going goo goo gaga over the international.
I don't care if it's. I don't really. Well, great. It's awesome.
It's Friday Night Football.
But good. That's awesome. I love that it's on Friday.
Yeah,
I love it.
I
love that it's on Friday. Okay.
The fact that it's in Brazil and nobody's going goo goo gaga over it.
This is not what I like. It's not what I. You know. I think it's a nuisance.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a money grab.
It's not but that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to grow the game internationally. I'm here to grow the game in Kansas City. Okay? I'm very Kansas City oriented. I don't care.
Nate wants all the fans all over the world.
That's fine. And Nate's more of an international guy. But I don't wake up thinking, oh, I hope people in Germany like the Chiefs. I hope football catches on in Brazil. Guess what? It never will. It's not gonna. They like another kind of football, which is fine, which is okay. But that's not what I think about. You know, when I think about the upcoming football season, like, I wonder what they think about this in France. I don't care. That's not what I'm thinking about. Okay? I'm thinking about Kansas City and Buffalo and
Baltimore.
Cincinnati and Baltimore. And why Mike Pinnell's signing with the Cincinnati Bengals. That did not hit right.
No.
I love Big Mike.
Yeah.
Mike the Beast Pinnell. I saw that.
I respect it.
I get it.
I respect it.
I think that shows you.
You got good dirty in his mind. I get it. I get it.
I'm gonna go to someone you.
I can respect that.
Mother.
And that's a team that needs help on defense.
I don't have to
I
like
don't like it. Yeah.
A lot of things I respect that I don't like. I just saw that.
I don't like it one bit.
I get it. That's a little jab. Okay. I got a little mouse under my eye with that. A little jab from Cincinnati and Mike Pennell. I get it. I wish him the best. Not in the one individually. I do not wish him any wins. I wish him individual personal wins in his personal life and with his statistics. But no actual game wins. So we got the Chiefs. And here's the deal. It's already Tuesday.
Yeah.
Monday has been erased. We are in it. We are knee deep in game week. And then and I get it. I'm passing right over the NFL opener on Thursday. Okay, but that's not my focus. That's the beginning of the NFL season. That'll be great. But Friday night, the Chiefs and the Chargers. And then we go to bed right after that, pretty soon after that game. I don't know. You might have a couple drinks. Whatever.
Okay, well, good night.
You go to bed after the game and you wake up, and it's game day between Mizzou and Kansas and Columbia.
Could have been because of his excited about it.
I mean, in a 24-hour span, we are going to get the Chiefs season opener against the Chargers and the return of Mizzou versus Kansas in college football. In a 24-hour span. That's somewhat overwhelming. It really is. And that's why all apologies to baseball and to the Royals, I just, I had someone reach out to me wanting to get on the show for a baseball topic on Friday. I said, I love you, but no, sir. No, you keep it knocking, but you can't come in. Friday's football. And I have my mind on football all week long. How could you not?
Are you ready for some
How could you not? And so it is overwhelming. It really is. It's almost too much. It's almost like I kind of wish Missouri and Kansas would have played this past weekend so I could focus on that, and then the Chiefs open up. But it's just like, Chiefs open up hours later. Mizzou hosts Kansas.
What? Oh, yeah.
Such a calm before the storm. And there's going to be a storm. And it's like, I don't know how I'm going to handle it. Like, if the Chiefs somehow lose on Friday night, I'm going to be super pissed off on Saturday. But then I'll get over it, but then if the Chiefs win, and then depending on what happens in the game on Saturday, that's going to affect my mood. But then I don't know how I feel on Sunday. What game will have meant? It's all over the place. It's all over the place. Anything can happen. Anything might happen. I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be wild. I'm very, very pleased that I believe I'll be traveling to Columbia. I better believe it. I think it's my plans to watch the game with friends, and then watch the Chiefs game with friends on Friday night, and then get up and then head right over to the stadium. And man, do I got a lot of people to try to connect with. My best friend Caesar, who of course lives in St. Louis, and who has served this country for how old are we? Over 3 decades in the U.S. Army. We grew up 4 blocks away from each other, graduated high school together. I was the best man at his wedding. I'm a Mizzou fan. He's a Kansas grad. There's a lot of stories like that. But he's going to the game. And so we're going to try to get together before the game. I got a lot of people. going to this game that I know on both sides that I'm going to try to touch base with. So I got to get there early. And then I just might emotionally shut down and touch base with no one. I don't know what, It's also going to depend how festive I'll be will depend on what happened on Friday night. That's also going to be like, is going to feed into my football frenzy, or am I going to be more reserved? I don't know. I have no idea. But this is just, it's here. We've thought about this for so long. We've waited for this for so long. It's here. It's unbelievable. Aren't you guys excited?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't
Heck
this
yeah.
exciting?
It's a huge week.
What are you more excited for?
Man, that's a good question.
That's why I asked it.
I
By the
think
way,
that-
this is the first time that Missouri and Kansas have played since November 26, 2011. But it's the first time that the game has been on campus since November 25th, 2006.
yeah,
So that game was in Columbia, and then they rattled off 5 in a row at Arrowhead. So the last time it was in Lawrence was 05. The last time it was in Columbia is 06. Look at Jake's face. He's so...
They played 5 games at Arrowhead?
I thought they played 3, but
I don't know.
I don't know. That's what it says.
maybe I erased the last 2 from my memory because KU was so bad by then.
Okay.
The games, they didn't.
The first one,
Yeah, I'll never forget that.
Armageddon at
I'll
Arrowhead.
never forget that.
Missouri won that one. The second one was the only one Kansas won. That was the Kerry Meyer touchdown.
Yep.
And then the next one was the wild game that Mizzou won in the last second field goal, 41-39.
That was Mangino's last game, if I remember correctly.
Yes. And then the last
Okay,
few,
well, good night.
I could see they weren't.
Right. Right. But yeah, that's just when you said 5 years, like, wow, that's the reason I don't remember the last couple.
Yeah, try to repress the memories of those 2 games.
I was looking at this last one. I'll just take an excerpt from the game story. Gill is just 5-19 in 2 seasons in charge, and 10 straight losses to finish the season, many in lopsided fashion, may have sealed his fate. So
Yep.
Maybe that's why you're.
No.
I think that I took Steve St. John Sr. to that one, and that's a rarity for him to go to
that
a
is.
football game.
Well, to answer your question,
There you
I
go.
do think because of everything you just said that I mean, man, everybody I talk to, it feels like this Kansas-Missouri game almost feels like a bigger deal than the Chiefs game, which sounds crazy, but it's just the 15 years. It's the, and the history and all that. That's all. But they're both, I don't know which one I'm more excited for. Excited for both. And I do wake up wondering every day, how do people in Brazil feel about the Chiefs?
That's weird.
So I think about
That's
it,
crazy.
and now we get to find out.
I wake up thinking about Kansas City and how do they feel, because I got to talk to these people. I'm a Kansas City guy. Let's take a break. Oh, how about this? Oh, you want to start the week off with a bang? Lance Leipold, head coach of the Kansas football team, will join us next on Sports Radio 810 WHB. What's up, Kansas City? Steven St. John here for DraftKings. And I love football. Look at Deebs. Look at Deebs walk in here. That's what I like. I love the football. And week 1 starts now. And every single touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5 to get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, grab over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Your season starts now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code 810WHB. That's code 810WHB to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Kansas only. Eligibility restrictions apply on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issue and see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. And if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have
Oh, that's a replay. I thought TCU just scored on North Carolina again. Whoa. Whoa. Wow. What was that for? Oh, I'll tell you what it's for. You want me to get? I'll get into that a little bit later. Big TCU fan last night. Hey. Just letting you know. I enjoyed the game. 48-14 TCU over North Carolina. But right now, we'll talk to Kansas head football coach Lance Leipold. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. How you doing? I'm doing well.
Doing very well. I tell you what, this rivalry is. Nate Bukaty walked into the studio and slapped me in the face. Can you believe that? I don't appreciate that, but that's what happens around here. Coach, you'll talk to me though, won't you?
I will talk to you.
Thank
and
you.
I won't slap you either. So.
You know what? Because you're a friend. I appreciate that. And so I'm curious. So, we were just talking about this. This is the first time that the teams have played since 2011. The first time a game has been on campus since 2006. And so, and look, I heard you at your press conference saying that somebody even came up to you at church and told you to do something bad. And so, you could tell us about that. But like, how has this been for you since you've arrived at KU? I'm sure you've heard about it, but now here it is. It's game week. What does this mean to you, and how have you tried to relay that to your team about the meaning of this rivalry game that's coming up on Saturday?
Yeah, it's been I don't know if the word the process has been interesting in that upon arrival, I kind of look back at that, and it's been a whirlwind, so to speak. Is that people would come up and ask when we're playing again, or they see it's on the future schedule and can't wait for it, and it'd be here and there. And of course, in the off season, it started to pick up a little bit in the summer. And of course, during these first few weeks, people are, have a tendency to jump to the games that they highlight a little bit more than the ones that are currently in the weekly schedule. So people wanted to talk about it before the Fresno game, before the Wagner game, and you got to keep in the moment as a coach and stuff, and keep your team focused. And of course, as soon as the game is over, I think a lot more has been put into it, and you continue to hear more and more about it, about the past, about the rivalries, where the games were played, the balance in really of this rivalry through the years and wins and losses. So all of it's going to be, and it's really just want it to be the best football game that it can be as these two teams play again for the first time in a long time.
You said something that I thought was interesting. I wanted you to elaborate on it. You said you want your team to play with enthusiasm, but you don't want your team to be emotional. You want them to be enthusiastic, not emotional. Maybe explain, because I think that's interesting, because I know what you mean by that, but maybe take us a little bit deeper into that.
Well, I think if I'd ask you, when you say somebody's emotional, what does that mean sometimes? You can be up, you can be down, it can fluctuate and things like that. Being enthusiastic is you're always up. An enthusiastic person is excited and ready to go all the time. Emotions can be happy, sad, fired up, depressed, whatever it could be. So I've and one of the coaches I worked under for many years, he kind of would use that sometimes, and it really stuck with me. And I always said, we want to be an excited team to play. We want to be the most enthusiastic team to play, but we don't want to be an emotional team. So, kind of tried to emphasize that to our team through our preparation.
I saw a video of Tony Sands talking to the team. He obviously had a huge moment in this history of this rivalry for KU and talked about the stamp on it. I've got some I have a family member who played on the 1960 team that beat Missouri at the end of the year and earned a trip to the Orange Bowl, but then got they always felt it was Missouri that turned them in for the recruiting, or for playing an ineligible player, so they didn't get to play in the Orange Bowl that year. And I would hear Fred talk about that all the time and how much anger there was against Missouri. But the guys you're coaching don't know anything about it, and my kids have never seen Kansas and Missouri play. How important do you feel the education is for your guys to understand the history of this versus just getting ready for the game itself?
I think there's a balance, Nate. I really do. There's some things to show, and we did show some things about the history of where this rivalry and things that are non-athletic as well as athletic, stems from. But again, I've even said to other guys, when you really get into sometimes, the pregame speeches and things like that, once that ball's kicked off, it's going back to trusting your training and going through and executing and playing. So I'll keep saying it. It's a balance of what you're trying to do to have your team prepared, enthusiastic for kickoff, all the things that we've kind of talked about, but especially in today's, I hate to say all the time because I always refer, I remember when my dad would say stuff like this to me, but today's young men, they're more about the here and now than ever before, and how what pertains to them and that, but giving them a perspective is always good, and will continue to enlighten them through the week, and I'm sure all the talk around them will as well.
We have Lance Leipold on the show. All right, Coach, let's talk about your opponent in Missouri. They have a new quarterback in Bo Pribula, and there's a tie there because your former offensive coordinator and a guy that coached under you for a long time, Andy Kotelnicki, was his offensive coordinator up in Penn State. And so were you able to talk to him and gain any information about Pribula, and what did you think after watching him on film?
Well, he's a really good player. First of all, he's a dual threat guy. He was, in much like Andy fashion, he built a package to get him on the field last year at certain times. Didn't get in depth with Andy about him because, again, once you get into a new system, but he talked about him being a great young man, a competitor guy, great teammate, was put in a really tough position while Penn State was in the playoffs to enter the portal while the playoffs were still going on. But didn't get overly deep on him. But it's easy to see in his first game, how talented he is, and containing him, especially if things break down and through in the pass game, that he can just take the ball and create things with his legs.
Coach, I wanted to ask you a little bit about a couple of the players that we got to see this past weekend. The game against Wagner, I got a chance to go to the game. Stadium looks amazing. The atmosphere was great. It was all fun. We asked you about Tate Nagy before the season started, and you really raved about his abilities as a punt returner. They were really on display. He is a fun kid to watch back there, and I'm just kind of curious if you have any further thoughts on what you saw once once you got into live games like this. What impresses you the most about him back there?
Well, again, he's got a great feel for the game. He, again, being around it most of his life, I think sometimes that can be overstated, especially when your father, somebody works the hours that he does, that you always think that the dad goes home and coaches his kids, which isn't the case. But he has a really good natural feel. And like we said, making the transition from quarterback to receiver, like I said, natural ball skills and understanding of things. He does a great job making the first person miss. I thought he had a fine game. He was our special teams player of the week. We talked to him about some of those exciting moves. He could probably cut back a cut or two there as he's working. But he's learning, and he's getting a feel for how he wants to operate back there as people are coming down on him. I thought he did a good job. We also had him return a kick, and he had 2 catches in the game. So for a true freshman to get that type of playing time and exposure to college football this quickly is really good, and Nate will continue to Tate will continue to get better as we go along.
Yeah, I don't think Nate's getting better as we go along, Coach. I can tell you that right now. I don't. You can,
like a fine wine.
Yeah, you can wish that as much as you want, but I'm not on that vein. Tate, yes. Nate, no, sir. I wanted to ask you, but I think it'd be an interesting matchup. It looks like you have a hell of an offense, and Mizzou is very high on their defense. How do you feel right now about the way your offensive line is playing? And then when you take a look at the front seven from Mizzou, what stands out to you? Because I think that's going to be a big matchup on Saturday.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time on these, and naturally in this talking about the skill positions, quarterback, receivers, running backs, and things like that. But games are going to be won and lost up front, and I believe this will be another game that it'll be a big challenge for us. I think the front seven for Missouri is outstanding. You can see the length and really the size of the defensive line. As you can tell, you're playing an SEC team. As I told our team, obviously it's great to be 2-0, but we're stepping up definitely in talent level and competition. You can see that on film. Defensive ends, as I said, with length, height, they're quick off the ball. They play with quick twitch and can get around the corner. Will be big challenges for our tackles. And again, getting movement up front, always in interior, will be a challenge. So the Trotter kid that transferred from West Virginia, and his father played in the NFL. We played against him last year. He's a really good football player, a great get for them. And again, as a whole defense, I could see why they're excited about their defense. It's very talented, very athletic, and again, for us to win this football game, we're going to have to play our best football to date.
I know a lot of coaches, a lot of teams will try to pipe in some sound to practice to try to simulate the crowd noise, and this is going to be your first road game. Have you thought about bringing Nate in with a microphone just to talk during practice up there in the bleachers? Just having, just say, hey, Nate, what do you think of soccer? And just have him talk real loud. And, boy, that would distract the hell out of your team, wouldn't it?
It would. It would definitely be something we'd have to work through concentration-wise.
Right.
But we are playing a lot of music in that. I haven't thought about Nate's voice being implemented into that, but we definitely could give that some more thought and bring it up in the staff meeting later today.
That'd be hard for you to coach through too, wouldn't it? I mean, your head would be spinning. Nate, you with the final word here, Coach.
You know what? I will just say this, Coach. This has been, as a KU alum, I, for a long time, was not in favor of even playing this game because I felt like Missouri left. They left the conference. We shouldn't play them. But now I'm excited for it. It's been 15 years. This game does mean a lot. But the biggest thing is I'm just excited that we have a football team that can go compete in the game, because for a while there at the end it wasn't like that. So I just want to say good luck, Coach. And we're excited that this should be a really, really exciting game and a historic one coming up this weekend. So thank you.
Well, thank you, and we're excited about the opportunity. It's challenging to go into someone else's stadium and that type of environment, but it'll be a challenge and a great measuring stick for our team, where we're at and where we'll be heading into conference play. And again, like you said, I think some of those moves were in the early stage of realignment. Missouri, Nebraska leaving the Big 12. It was a sign of things to come, and I think once that all settles and feelings kind of move on, I still think it's good to play as many games as you can within drivable distances for your fan bases to enjoy as much as it is that we're doing, coast-to-coast type conference games these days. So this is good to have, and hopefully it'll work its way into the next decade where it can be on a more frequent basis than currently.
That's right. College football is better when this game is played. Coach, thank you for the time. We appreciate you, and we will talk to you next week.
Sounds great, guys. Have a great week. Rock Chalk.
That's Coach Lance Leipold. I don't know why I'm trying to help, but boy, I think that was him.
It would be distracting. I could just describe.
Right, if you have him in there, And then
let's discuss the offside rule.
Right. Jake, what do you think? I'm loaded with great ideas if people would just listen.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Coach Leipold listens.
Have Nate call the plays real loud.
Yeah. Or just have him talking and
just talking about whatever.
Just like a story.
Yeah, you just tell. I got a lot of stories.
Yeah. When I was at KU, I remember one time, and then just go.
The time I walked
players are looking around.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel's out there like,
I'm trying to get the play in.
Delay a game.
The 12th man, you got to get used to the 12th man.
Coach Silver throws his headset down.
Like John Elway motioning to the refs, like, can you get this guy to shut up? Good times.
You see North Carolina get their asses kicked last night? I don't know if anyone saw that.
Did I?
Did I mention that yet? I hate to bring this, they had a very Charlie Weissy feel to it. Like the old decided schematic advantage, remember? Here I am.
I feel like this week you should be able to see this one coming.
Oh, let me tell you something. When I found out that Michael Lombardi was involved, you remember I told you that, Jake. I said this is going to fail, and I hope it does, because there are very few people that I've encountered that was a bigger prick than Michael Lombardi. And if his name's stamped on this, downhill, baby.
What are you gonna do?
He tried heavily to get involved in the KU.
Let's go. You know. Oh, Jake, I hope you didn't go heavy on North Carolina.
Oh, I did not.
They jumped out to a 7-0 lead,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, and then what happened?
Well, they lost the rest of the game 48-7.
Oh, well.
But they were ahead.
Right. 48-7?
That was 48-14 the final, so
yeah.
that was, yeah.
So I think, oddly enough, I think Bill Belichick was 48 when his girlfriend was 7.
That's probably about right. I think the math checks out there.
Back into this on WHB. Hi, everybody. I should really talk to sales about some things. I don't have nothing for this one either. How you doing? Stephen St. John here, and let me tell you about my great friends at Hy-Vee. I was just at Hy-Vee over the weekend, and I'm doing all my shopping. You know why? Because football is almost here, and I have to stock up, and you got to get ready, don't you? And the best place to go to get ready for football season is Hy-Vee. They are the best, and they've got everything you need. If you go see my friends at Hy-Vee, you can get everything you need for your tailgate. You can get everything you need for your watch party, whether it's college football, whether it's the Chiefs. They got Chiefs gear. They got everything you need. It's your one stop. That's why they call it your one-stop shop, because they got everything you could possibly need for wonderful football. And how about this? And get ready. You can save even more when you head to Hy-Vee the day after any Chiefs game and score savings at the pump with your Hy-Vee Perks card, just like I do. Win or lose, I earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score based on the amount I spend. If the Chiefs score 35 points, I save 35 cents a gallon when I spend $35 on groceries. The more we score, the more I save, the more you save, only at Hy-Vee. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. And tell my friends at Hy-Vee that Stephen St. John sent you. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you. Stephen St. John and Nate Bukaty here with Mark Borichter. Hello, Mark. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you guys?
Better than North Carolina football.
Yeah?
I could tell you that.
Yeah, for sure.
There was just a lot of people there that I have rooted against in my sports life. And, like I rooted against Michael Jordan. I rooted against Roy Williams. I rooted against Lawrence Taylor. I rooted against Bill Belichick. I root against Michael Lombardi. All these, it was weird. You know what I mean? I hope they lose. And then they really did.
They looked really
by
bad.
A lot.
That was awful.
Yeah. Did you hear the Kirk Herbstreit got caught with an open mic saying how bad they looked?
No.
But I mean, look,
that's the truth, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does he need it?
And we can go back. When this happened, I just saw I have no expectations for this because it seems like there's a certain arrogance, and maybe it was. I listened to Mike Lombardi talk about it, and it sounded. And look, and there's the reason for this. It sounded a lot like Charlie Weiss when he took over Kansas. I'm not talking about what Belichick was talking. I'm talking about Michael Lombardi. Like, we're going to come in here and do this and do that. And, it's college football, and they just don't understand what we got this. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And remember Charlie Weiss was up there at the podium. We'll have a decided schematic advantage. These schools Big 12.
I mean, what are you going to do?
And I go, oh.
Really, what are you going to do?
Because, in college football, it ain't a one-man show.
No.
It's your staff, and it's your recruiters, and now it's your NIL people, all these things. And you just got to – it ain't that easy. It's not that easy as the way people were presenting it to be. And maybe I remember I asked the question, will he ever compete for an ACC championship? My answer was no. I mean, no. Come on, no. Will he ever get to 8 wins? I don't know. Do you think? I mean, will this ever be good? What are your expectations for him at North Carolina?
I don't know. I think so we had practice last night, and then I got back. So I missed the first half of the game, basically. And so obviously I started tuning in at halftime, and I was like, oh, this game's already out of hand, right, in a sense. And then some other things happened, and you just start watching the missed tackles and just other stuff schematically that they were just absolutely getting taken advantage of. And at one point early in the third quarter, they bailed in coverage, and the guy ran a little 4-yard hitch, and the camera pans to Belichick, and you just see him drop an F-bomb. Like, what the F are we doing? I was just dying laughing because he was like, what are we? And look, I'll also say this: with the first weekend of college football this past, or second weekend, however you want to look at it, right? On stuff with week 0 and everything else, but. Alabama's in this boat right now where, everybody wants to fire Kalen DeBoer and all, maybe not everyone, but my point being, there's a lot of overreactions that happen in the first couple of weeks of the college football season based on, teams you expect to win or maybe win. But in Belichick's case and Mike Lombardi's case and all of this, this whole thing has been a circus since the get-go.
Yep.
Whether it's everything surrounding his personal life, it's just
everything about it.
Everything has been I just showed you guys when you look at the press conference backdrop that he walked into that has all of these balloons. We've all seen the media backdrop that's got sponsors on it, right? Everything, it's always normal. The room he walked into around that has all these balloons around it, he's at a 24-year-old's bachelorette party, and I said that on purpose.
It looked like a setup. It looked like a setup for a homecoming picture, prom picture.
Yes.
Stand
you want to know who did that? You can figure it out real quick.
Get centered. Stand under the balloon arch. All right, now you stand behind. Now put your arm around her waist.
Make sure we can see the corsage.
Click.
The theme, A Midsummer Night's Dream. That's what that theme was.
Right.
For the
Nightmare.
The enchantment under the sea dance.
I don't know what Belichick's approach is on this, but like when you said the Charlie Wise feel, I remember because I was doing shows with Charlie Wise and had to MC their senior night and things like that. And I remember him sitting there one time and breaking down for me all the reasons that coaching in college was so much easier than coaching in the pros. And he basically, he was breaking the daily schedule down for me. Well, in the pros, you got to get up and do this and this, 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 and this before the players even enter the building. And in college, you don't have. And it was basically all about how you worked. It was just so much easier in college. And I remember thinking, there's no way that Bill Snyder is only working these hours. I think that the other college coaches that are successful are filling up the day with other things, like you said, like recruiting and organizing an entire huge. How big is a college roster, by the way? Compared to an NFL roster. That arrogance of also, we won. We were the Patriots. We're going to come to a basketball school and teach all you doofuses how football works, And that kind of arrogance just usually doesn't seem to get it done. So it was fun to watch.
And Steven, you said this, we haven't really heard Belichick be that way, right, at all. It's Mike Lombardi. And, you don't
hear anything from Belichick.
No, and that's which was normal. You know what I mean? And so maybe he feels that way, maybe he doesn't. But, I've always thought it was odd. The structure that they have set up or have talked about a lot of setting up with a general manager and now with revenue share and everything else, a lot of these schools have that. The difference here is you've got guys that have all had NFL experience coming to do it at the college game, right? And kind of bringing that model, which is honestly where it's going anyway. But it didn't help, again, all the circus that's happened around this. Lombardi is still doing, through that whole piece, was still doing all kinds of media hits on Pat McAfee? You know what I mean? He's doing talk show stuff all the time, analyzing everything else, instead of just keeping their mouth shut and working on their roster. And look, there's going to be transition to this no matter what. But like I said, it's been a circus. Don't want to overreact to whether he's going to be successful or not necessarily after one game. But they didn't look very good last night.
Who had the bigger flop this weekend? Bill Belichick or Arch Manning?
Ooh.
Arch Manning.
That was stunning to me how bad he was. And again, that's just one game.
I put that on
because of the
I put that on
expectations.
Sark. I didn't like Texas's game plan at all. They were very conservative.
The first pass he threw was into the ground.
Yeah.
But I'm just watching him. I was like,
I'll also say this. I think Arch Manning's a really good quarterback. You've seen some really good things from him, but there's a lot of high expectations there that unfairly a little bit.
I can
just
tell
based
you.
on his name.
I don't know if it's unfair.
Jake probably
He's getting paid $4 million.
Jake probably shut him down.
That's the era we're in now, though. You're exactly right. You're getting paid
too much is granted, much is required.
Yes,
I
would agree.
Lebo's text messages with one meme after another because let me tell you something. That was a banner day for X. The creativity that was displayed in response to Arch Manning's debut as a starter was second to none, and Lebo loved it. I don't know if Jake loved it. Maybe Jake's an Arch Manning, I don't know. But Lebo was loving it. We're going to take a break. Jake seems very discombobulated. We're going to take a break. Back after this on WHP.
What's up, Kansas City? It's time. It's football season. Week 1 starts now. And every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook. They have a great deal for new customers. This is just for you. You bet $5 and you're going to get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, grab over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. What an amazing deal. My favorite part of the NFL Sunday Ticket, the Red Zone, all that great stuff, and you're going to get a great deal. All you got to do is bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets. All you need to do that is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 810WHB. That's code 810WHB to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more, plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. What a great deal. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Kansas only. Eligibility restrictions apply on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issue and see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
Tickets for Less is your source for tickets to the Chiefs' home opener against the defending champion Eagles on Sunday, September 14th. Get the lowest prices, no service fees, and transparent